Hi.
Today we are here to discuss Flamecraft. This is the Kickstarter edition, the deluxe.
That's right.
Super deluxe, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know about super, but it's pretty deluxe.
Yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell down there so you can see more of us and our painted friend here. So, Rob, can you tell us more about Flamecraft?
I can. So this is a 2022 release. It's still being actually delivered as we speak. So I got mine a couple weeks ago. He's still waiting on his.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long time. Yeah. It's actually not mine. It was Miranda's, but yeah, it's still not here.
It's in the family.
Yeah.
But they're getting there, so that's why we're reviewing this copy. So 2022 release. Overall rank is 2033. Rated at 7.88, so pretty good score. Plays 1 to 5, ages 10 and up. How old are you, Sarah?
I'm 8.
And so I think you picked it up pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah.
So 10 and up, I think you can go below it.
I think the only thing we had to help her with was the in-game scoring bonuses. Yeah. So I can see why they did it 10 and up because of that. But yeah, I mean,
as far as mechanics and all that,
and the art and the fun, the theme, is definitely
kid
appropriate.
Yeah. I think it's like 6 and up.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't think this would be.
If there was a parent playing, I think it would be 6.
Yeah, but they would have to probably
play most of the game
for that person.
So, but I think 10 and up, definitely. But I think I'm gonna probably go. I mean, Sarah picked it up fine. Mm-hmm. So designed by Manny Vegas, art by Sandera Tang, my favorite part of the game, by the way. Mm-hmm. Published by Cardboard Alchemy. Now it's not available for retail yet, but I did look up prices. So Geek Market, they got available copies $45 to $100, ranging for deluxe versions of the game. Now the Kickstarter price, I paid $79 before taxes, but they did offer the retail version for $39, but you don't get. Many of the components obviously aren't the deluxe version. So, yeah, it's definitely cheaper, but the components aren't as nice.
So, let's talk about the quality of components. So, all the wood in it is
screen printed.
Screen printed, yeah.
And shaped to what the item is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize dragons did French toast, but yeah.
But they're bakers, so they bake bread.
The card stock, it's all linen finished.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little thin, but not bad. It's pretty good. The coins are really cool. They're not only are they indented with the Flamecraft logo or the name on them,
but they're chunky.
They're two-sided with different pictures, and they have like a tinting stain in them,
it's like
which
gold.
Is really cool. Well, they're gold, but they have like a wash on them that makes it pop.
A little bit of a contrast to them.
Yeah. It's like metal.
And the player character dragons,
so we got minis, so you'll see pictures
shaped differently.
Yeah,
but they're very cool looking. Not only they have really nice variety of colors, but they have just each one's custom shaped.
Yeah, and I did put a little bit of a wash on them to add a little bit of contrast to them.
Oh, okay.
So they're a little bit brighter without the wash I put on it, but you don't get the shadows that my version, but what I painted did. But this version does come with the wooden versions too, so it's got the wooden meeples as well as the minis. So
did you apply the wash to the coins, or was that the way they came?
No, that was the way they came.
Okay. And then you get a playmat that's pretty long.
Yeah.
This is a table log.
It really is.
It's very thin but very long playmat it's stitched on the edges, so it's a really nice quality one. All the storage are like game tray style, and they have lids for the inside.
Everything.
The interior storage of the box is actually really nice. It's got a plastic mold that everything fits into.
Yeah, everything fits on top, and then there's a lid that covers most of that, and the rest of the rule book will cover the front. So I've been storing on its side, and I had no problems with anything falling out.
Do the cards areas have room for sleeving? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for sleeves.
Awesome. There's also some bonuses in the
some really neat little cute bonuses for the kids.
So they have these stickers. They have a sheet of stickers, actually multiple sheets.
Yeah, it's a couple sheets of stickers.
So lots of fun stickers for kids, and then there's also a bunch of bookmarks in there.
Yeah.
So if your kid's a reader, that's really awesome that they put that in there. To encourage reading anyway. And then you have these oversized cards, which are your storefronts that you've got, and these also appear to have a linen finish. They do. So everything is really done extremely well from a quality perspective.
I completely agree.
I'm probably going to go ahead and give it a 9.5. I probably would have given it a 10 if the cards had a little more thickness to them.
I completely agree. I mean, if there was just a little bit more meat to the card stock, it would have been a 10 easily. I'm still hesitant. I'm floating between that 9.5, 10. I think quality components is really, really nice. So at least a 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Sarah?
I think a 9.7.
Well,
Wow.
9.7.
Okay.
All right.
So you weren't too far off from us this time.
Not this time.
No, not this time.
All right, what's next?
All right, so theme would be next.
Yep.
So let's talk about the theme. So obviously you are dragons and you're running
Yeah.
shops.
So yeah, you're actually working with shopkeepers, and
Mm-hmm.
so you're helping them run shops.
And I have to say, while the art is amazing, my favorite part of this is the names of some of
The
these
name of
shops.
shops are great.
The Gnome Depot. When I first got this out, that was the card that was on top. It was kind of falling out of the stack. So I was pushing it back in, and I caught my eye, and I just started laughing. Gnome Depot was amazing. And then they had Draco Bell.
Yep, Draco Bell,
Yeah.
Critical Rolls,
Yeah.
which is a bakery, and
Which I work for a company that is affiliated with Draco Bell. So that was pretty cool to see. So yeah, all in all, I thought the theme on this was a lot of fun. It's definitely kid friendly. It's very vibrant. It
Mhm.
almost looks like a Animal Crossing type environment.
I love
and that
Animal
type of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the dragons are super cute. They look like something you would see in a children's book. I mean,
Yes.
they do.
Just gorgeous art.
yeah.
I mean, gorgeous
So
art.
pretty.
Yes, everything is well designed as far as the mat, the art on that looks. It looks like a
Yeah.
little village.
I mean, graphic design works out really well, which I think really helps thematically as well. Everything has a place, and it makes sense where it's located.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't think would fit really well were these little sections here don't match up with anything on the mat as far as where the cards go, but the cards are going to cover it anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
And then technically, you could pull it down far enough to where the cards don't even need to go on the mat if you don't want to.
Mhm.
So then
That's
you can
true.
actually see the storefront, but it's not that big of a deal.
yeah, I mean, it's already a pretty big table
Yeah.
log, so.
Yeah.
So, all in all, I mean, from an art perspective, from just the fun of the theme, I think this is a 9 for me.
I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher, just because not only does I think that the mechanics fit the theme and the art's so good, but it's a light, fun game, and it was fun playing with Sarah. But I had fun playing it the first time I played it with adults. And it's a feel good game.
Mhm.
You know, there's you don't get any negative feelings
there's
whatsoever.
no take that in this game.
At all. So I really like that, and especially if I can play it with someone a little bit younger that may not be that used to board games yet, and it can give them a good impression of the hobby.
And it,
So I'm gonna
it rewards you for sharing, which is something that's good for kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a mechanic that gives you points for sharing. So I'm gonna go 9.5 for theme.
Okay, Sarah?
I'm gonna do a little bit higher.
You want to go 9.7 again?
I wonder.
Okay.
Okay, I love the art, especially for younger kids. I love these cards because they're just so cute.
They're called the fancy dragons.
Mhm.
Yes, they're so cute.
That's the name of one of the stores as well. So cute.
Oh, yeah.
Spelled
but-
SEW.
Yeah, like
So cute.
so. I love the theme. It's just great.
Mhm.
So what would
It's
you
gonna be
score it?
A 10.
Wow. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
And I should point out all of the different dragons. You have the artisan dragons and the fancy dragons.
Yeah.
But they all have custom names and art. All the cards, every one of them. And
Yeah,
there
the
was-
mechanics are the same for the color, but the artwork and the naming of it is unique, which is really nice.
And I have one that was definitely a reference and nod to Pinkie Pie from the My Little Pony.
Uh-huh.
Which I wouldn't have known. It's like the only one I ever hear about from Miranda's family. I'm not really a brony or anything, but no. I've heard Pinkie Pie. That's the only one I can name. Other than that, it's Apocalypse Ponies all around for me.
So let's talk about the rulebook.
All right, so the rulebook is 20 pages long.
Oversized, which is great.
Full size of the game almost, a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
It's got a nice cover on it, different from the art from the box, which is unusual to see. Usually it's the same. It has a
really pretty piece of artwork on the last page.
The art has nice on the back, and it's got the different designers and so on, and thank yous for all the people who worked on the game. The inside has the components, has nice 2 pages of just nothing but large print pictures of the components with their numbers, making it very clear how many.
Which I've always liked that. I hate it when you see a list of components but not pictures.
Exactly, it's one of my big pet peeves.
Yeah.
The setup, 2 pages, got a full almost 2/3 of the pages covered with a picture that is very clear where everything's supposed to go. The numbers are all done different colors, and they're easy to identify where they are on the page. Very nice. All the sections are color coded. I like that a lot. The rules are very clear in each one. There's no confusion. The different, you have basically the gatherings all in green. The enchanting is all in purple. Then it goes into basically the wrap up of turn and wrap up of game in red, and that's basically it. After that, it's just an index of all the abilities of all the cards. That basically answers any questions you might have about an ability. I think we did have a couple questions just on the wording of the card, and it was both of them were clearly identified in here.
Now there is a solo mode available in the game, and it talks about it in the rulebook. I haven't got to try that yet, but there is a separate, and we didn't even really talk about this on yet either. But the cheat sheets are really good. But there's a separate solo mode cheat sheet as well.
Yeah.
So they really planed it out well.
Yeah. They have an optional rules section with companions. I'm assuming those are the other cards.
There's a small section of cards that I did not deal out.
And then the solo mode. The solo mode has achievement section, which we don't. I don't play solo, but that's nice that they have that because it's gives you motivation to play it more than once. Right. So all in all, this rule book is a very well done rule book, especially since there's little kids that are going to also be probably playing this. I am going to give this one an unusual 10. I actually think they did an amazing job on this rule book, and with the cheat sheets on the side, we didn't even need them, but they were there. It's a 10 for me.
I completely agree. So this is the second time I got to play it. The first time I played it was at our local game shop in Columbus. So had a really easy time with setup and teaching it to them. Yeah. I can't agree more. 10.
Yeah, and the pages it's a quick read. I mean, we started late this evening, and we were able to read it through it and get no time at all.
Playing.
Yeah. So, I mean, Rob read it before and had played it, but he let me read it because he knows I was going to evaluate for the scoring. Not to mention, it's how I learn. So, and it took us almost no time at all to pick it up. So, all right. So, moving on to gameplay. So, you set the game up by putting out their starting stores that go in basically alternating storefronts around the map. It tells you specifically where they go. Whenever your starters come out, you're going to have a specific artisan dragon that is going to go on the stores that matches the storefront.
Which is a good.
Yes. And then everybody will get some starting dragons in their hand that are artisan dragons. And you will also get a choice of 2 different in-game, potentially, or during-game bonus scoring cards. These are fairly random.
They're called fancy dragons, and they're either instant score or in-game scoring.
Yes. Now, I will say I do have some grievances about those cards. Some of them felt way more powerful as far as points go than others. But, it's a kid's game. It's not that big of a deal. It's just...
I guess I can kind of see that because some can give you 10 points or some gave you 3.
Mine gave me 3, but at the cost of per card, but at the cost of every one of these cards I sacrificed, which were worth 5 points if I actually completed them. So in the end, I got more points by completing the cards, but I didn't have any in bonuses as a result. So, they're a little unbalanced, but it wasn't that big of a deal because you're really just playing for the experience of the cute environment more so than caring about winning. especially when you're playing with children. You're going to then go to different locations to trigger either gathering, which is going to let you get resources that are on the different spaces that match the icons of the dragons that are already there. And if there are open spaces in the location, which at the beginning of the game there almost always will be,
Right.
you're going to play a card if it has a dragon, one of the artisan dragons on it, if it matches the icon of the spaces that are in that location. When you do, you then have, first of all, gain there's highlighted bonuses on those spots.
Not on every spot, but most of them.
You'll get that highlighted bonus, but then additionally, you have the option of triggering any one dragon at that location for its ability. They call it the flame ability because they have a little flame.
Yeah, firing it up.
Firing it up, yeah. You can trigger that ability, and those abilities differ from type of card. So your French toast ones give you a draw.
It's bread, but
well,
It's toast.
it looks like French toast to me.
It's
So you
toast.
go there, you trigger that the card, and you will get to draw another dragon to add to your supply.
So all the unique dragons, the bread, the diamonds, all that, they all do the same thing. So even though the artwork may be different, the name may be different, the ability itself is always the same for that type of dragon.
Yeah. The meat dragons let you play another dragon to another location
Anywhere
for the
in town,
bonus.
which is
You don't
really
get
nice.
to trigger it, but
Yeah.
you get the location bonus. There's ones that let you gather additional resources. There's ones that let you swap dragons and
fire
trigger
them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of different abilities based on the artisan dragons. Not to mention the individual spaces you play them on also have different abilities, whether it be giving you hearts, which are the victory points in this game, or they give you coins, which also will be in-game victory points, but also serve as wild resources. And
but
then,
most of your scoring is not happening at this stage yet.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure we understand that. It's more about building up power and being able to get more resources and stuff to do the next stage that Randy will go into.
So then the other option is enchanting, and this is where most of your points come from. So these have basically are like fulfilling orders in most games. So they have different items pictured on them. You have to, if you spend the items pictured, you don't get to take the gathering ability of that space, but you get to add a card to a location. You can only have up to 3 of these cards on a given location, and the icon must match the icon in the corner. Now, there are some asterisks, which are wild locations. You can use any of these enchantments on a asterisk location. So you can you play it to the location, you pay the cost, you get the bonus that's at the bottom of the card. In this case, it's 4 hearts and a free artisan dragon. And then you
even better.
Also you get to fire up all of the dragons that are already at that location.
Which is really powerful.
And you can choose the order in which you do that. So that's really cool that you get that in bonus. So you not only can choose the location you want to place it on as long as it matches the icon, but you want to find ones that have a lot of dragons so you can get all of those abilities.
And I think that's where the meat of the game lies, is being able to know when to cast those enchantments, knowing where to play them at so that you can then gain the benefits of the most dragons you can to be able to set up additional rounds of doing enchantments later on in the game.
And and you can get like up to 8 victory points, I think was max we've seen on one of those cards. But you also can then trigger the dragons, which in some cases one of the dragons lets you gift one of the goods, resource goods to another player, and you can choose which player, but it gives you 2 hearts for doing that. So you can potentially get more than 8 victory points when you do that. So this game can swing pretty fast. We had a lot of people take the lead throughout the game.
Yeah, there was a lot of takeovers for most points throughout our game.
So it's a very simple game, and it plays through until either the artisan dragon deck is not all the cards are claimed, but the dragon draw deck has been revealed, and so therefore you have no more cards to draw.
Or the same thing for the enchantments.
So when either of those conditions are done, then you play one more round around the table for every one player gets an action, including the player who triggered that condition. And then the game ends, and you basically get the points you already have, plus 1 per coin you have at the end of the game, plus your in-game bonus cards that you have. And again, some of these are in game and some are during game. If you have a during game one, you just can trigger it immediately when you meet the condition of the card. In most cases, that's
like a free
spending
action.
resources to get points. It's a very easy concept. There's nothing unique or new about this game. It's the same types of mechanics you see in lots of other games, but it's done in a very child-friendly way.
Yeah.
It's a fun theme to it, and you don't really care whether you win or lose because you're playing for the enjoyment and
just the experience.
Experience. I think I wouldn't necessarily go out myself for this game without having Sarah or someone who would enjoy it as a child. I think it's a game that I would enjoy playing with Sarah, but by myself, it's not one I would personally pick as an adult for me to play.
If I'm playing with a group of gamers that really like hardcore, high strategy, then no, I wouldn't select this game. But if I know I'm going to like either the shop where I could potentially be playing with people that aren't accustomed to playing board games, or if I know kids will be there, I think this is a great introductory worker placement type game. And I think it's great to be able to teach kids.
It's definitely good for like if your friends are not really hardcore board gamers, but maybe like Animal Crossing or games like that. This is a very good bridge into board gaming. Yeah. So I think it definitely has its place. It's definitely got a niche. And, for what it is, I think it's done an amazing job as far as not only the design of the game, but also the art. The components, everything about it is done very well, and for that reason, given as far as the fun factor of the game, I personally, this isn't the kind of game I prefer, but given the fact of how well it's done, I'm still going to give this a 9 just because I think it is an amazing game for that niche.
Yep, I'm gonna go a little bit higher, 9.5, for the reason, like I said, I think it's just a great introductory game. Really, really cool that I have something in my library now that. If Sarah were ever to come over, that I have something to play with her, or just taking it to the shop and being able to play with people just in case I want to get some people that just, they're not used to high level strategy that I generally like to play myself. So 9.5 for me. What do you think?
Actually, the moon cards, these are the in-game cards.
Yep.
At the very top, you can see a moon or a sun. The sun is a immediate card that you can use anytime at the point of the game. And I love this game. It's a really, really fun game. I just love it all. This is actually probably one of my first placement games or whatever. So I'm going to give it a 9, 10.
A 9,
10? Wow, 9.1?
A 9, 0. No, a 9, 10, 0.
So 9.1.
No.
0.
900.
Wow.
910? Gee, that's the highest score ever.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
I've scored 1,000 before.
Okay.
I have. I have.
End of the day, you really liked it.
Right.
Yeah.
So great scores all around. I mean, this is across the board as great scores. I mean, as far as, even though it's not my kind of game, it's still a contender for best of the year, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's definitely one of
them.
For
its niche.
For its niche. And I mean, definitely, I would not be surprised seeing Spiel des Jahres come out and this one.
I would not.
Maybe it was a Kinderspiel.
Kinderspiel,
It'd probably be Kinderspiel. But it would not surprise me at all to see this game up there.
Yeah.
And Lucky Duck's been knocking him out of the park a lot lately. I mean, we've seen a lot of good games.
You know, in a way, this almost gives me like an Arcane Wonders type of feel, just how pretty it is, and just the overall component quality. So,
well, Arcane Wonders jumped up their game with Foundations of Rome tremendously.
Yeah.
They weren't that specialized in that before, but that game was amazing.
Well, I've always thought their components were pretty nice, but this is really, Cardboard Alchemy and Lucky Duck just really hit it out of the park.
Yeah, so definitely, this one is one to check out. If you haven't been following it, check it out because it is really cool. If you have children, small ones, if you like Animal Crossing type games, check it out. This is one that might be for you.
I think so.
All right, well, that's our thoughts on Flamecraft.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, let us know.
If you got to play it, let us know.
I'm sure everybody probably has their copy, but me, so.
At this point.
See, this is the little girl who's saddened by the fact that we don't have our copy of Flamecraft.
But they're getting to keep mine until their copy comes in.
bookmarks.
So that way she can play it.
She's never had a bookmark.
I have 1,000 in the living room.
You're spoiling it. We're trying to get our copy of the
That's
game.
right. She's destitute here.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and come back and join us again at our table.
Bye.